let's turn our attention to what's going on at This Morning. And we have got an ongoing crisis, we're told, at the ITV show after Phil Schofield talk about him being axed, and indeed Holly Willoughby talking about walking out of the show. Let's talk to Sarah Robertson, who's an entertainment journalist and joins us now. Good morning to you.
Morning, Julia.
Thank you so much.
It's like the last days of Rome over at ITV Studios on the This Morning team.
It does appear to be so, absolutely. We're told there was a crisis meeting yesterday. They returned to the show on Monday. Bearing in mind they've got like 1 million viewers. Apparently viewing figures, massively hit because people are unhappy about the fact they just, frankly, don't look like they're very at ease with each other and it's all looking a bit fake.
That's correct. Yes, viewers aren't stupid. They can see through the facade. And it is a bit of a charade that we saw on Monday. I mean, never have two people looked more uncomfortable as they went through the motions, having to read out lines to each other, the fake laughter, the canned laughter. It just, viewers are seeing through it now and they're not buying the partnership. Holly and Phil's magic was based on the chemistry that they shared together. And now that we're seeing the media reports that things aren't well behind the scenes, that there's been a falling out between the two of them, viewers aren't buying the relationship anymore. They're not investing into the marriage. So it does make it very hard to sell that show based on that relationship, on that.
And that's the key thing. You talk about that as a relationship, as a sort of a TV marriage, and that's what originally. It was Richard and Judy, a genuine TV marriage. I mean, I did their show many times, and the bickering. It was absolutely genuine. They'd have a bicker off air, and they'd do it on air, and everyone loved it because it was so genuine. It was a real marriage, and remains so. And then of course Phil and Fern, and again, it's that very intimate relationship that people have with a lot of the TV presenters. They feel like they get to know. And they know that relationship. And then Holly, I think it was a revelation. I've worked with both Phil and Holly, and I've found them both to be absolutely unendingly professional and very nice. Now, I don't know if they're just nice to their guests, but that's certainly the impression I get from both of them. But I mean, people have been ripping into Phillip Schofield. Now, a lot of the pressure has come on over, revelations about, him coming out as gay, and then there's various different other issues which have come to light, which we can't go into. There's also, of course, the conviction of his brother, Tim Schofield, for child sex offences. He's going to be sentenced on Friday, so this is going to be back in the news once again, whether he gets a long sentence or he doesn't get a long enough sentence in the view of most people. That will be in the news again. But someone shouldn't be hung for the sins of their family members, but there's a real concern that that he'd been told about these events by his brother, perhaps not in much detail, but that he didn't raise the alarm and that people feel that he was protecting his job. Is that where the animosity comes from, or is this a long-term issue with Phillip?
There's been some long-term issues that have been going on, Julia. I'm not going to go into unsubstantiated reports I can't for legal reasons, but yes, what you were saying before about his brother, it's not fair to chastise somebody and pillory them on something that a family member has done. I think what has stuck in people's throats and made people feel a bit icky was this sort of grey area, this muddying of the waters around if he knew, why didn't he go to the police straight away? But look, we can't really examine that. That's not our jobs to do that.
It's gone through. The case has gone through the courts, and his brother has been convicted.
But it's weighing heavily on his mind, as you pointed out just before. He knows this case is coming on Friday. Of course, as it would do, it's going to be weighing very heavily on him, and it will be causing him a great deal of distress and worry, not to say the poisoned rhetoric that will be going out among social media. Which
I think that's almost the beginning of the end, isn't it? Sarah, just find it. I mean, literally in one word, do Holly and Phil survive on This Morning?
Phil does seem to be made of Teflon. He does.
You think they will?
It'll be interesting to see if he can. But
do you think Holly will walk out?
No, Holly will not walk out.
Okay, all right, good to hear. We'll see what happens in the coming week. I have to say, much better viewing, by the way, on TalkTV with Mike Graham. But there we are. Sarah Robertson, entertainment journalist.